Yo, what's happening everyone? G Money Woman here, and welcome to my first ever review for Dead Space Remake. This is usually not the type of videos I usually make, but I wanted to like kind of spice things up a little bit for the channel in terms of different types of content. And plus, you know, I honestly wanted to give my thoughts and opinions about Dead Space Remake, because overall I had such a blast with the game, but I wanted to go in more more in depth. And I'm gonna be talking in them in three separate categories. The one would be story, gameplay, and overall what my thoughts and opinions of the game and what it accomplished compared to the original. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. The story of Dead Space Remake is pretty much the same like its original from 2008. Basically, it takes place on the ship called the Ishimura, and it involves with a small crew on the Kelliant. Involves with Isaac Clarke, Kendra, and Zach. And basically, their whole objective was to be sent to repair the ship, but as they aboard the ship, they discovered that there was nobody around. And that's when things took a turn for the worse. Necromorph outbreak just began. The Necromorph just killed the security details that was with the crew, and now, the only thing now matters is surviving and also repairing the ship. So, for the story itself, it's about basically the same, like I said before, but with a nice little needed touch of adding side quests to the game, which actually adds nice little side stories to what's going on, and also give you insights of what's been happening with Nicole, which I think this actually is a nice addition to the story, to be honest. It actually flesh out the whole game, and honestly, it really makes the game feel like the longevity of it feels a little bit nice. And there's also like other side stories too you've also discovered as well. Not gonna spoil it because I want people to still want to play the game, because I'm gonna still say it's too early to say it, even though it's been about a month since the game's been out. But yeah, I think overall the story itself is still great. I think this one did a great job. I think it's way more better than the original. In the original, there's really not much go to it other than using the environmental storytelling is the only thing that works. But in the remake, it still works the same too. It's nice with the needed side stories to it. These could be done optionally if you don't want to bother. But I think it's actually kind of nice to explore these side quests, so you can actually get more insights. Not also on Nicole's whereabouts, what she's been up to. Also give you a little bit more insights about our characters, especially with boy Isaac Clarke. So I definitely say, check those side stories out if you're playing the game. Dead Space Remake's gameplay is basically almost identical to its original, but except it's actually a lot more improved upon and a little bit more smoother in terms of the frame rates, since the Dead Space Remake is exclusively on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, and also on PC. So with the tech, the advantage that it has, it actually brings out the visuals more, and also at the same time the performance of the game, because in the original Dead Space on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, they were locked at 30 frames per second, which at its time, it wasn't really that big of a deal, because we were used to playing 30 FPS games back in the day. But now in modern standards, 60 FPS is pretty much the standard for video games, and honestly, playing Dead Space Remake on PlayStation 5 was absolutely smooth sailing, I will have to say. And for the gameplay itself is pretty much the same. Only thing is they actually updated the selective weapons. So the only ones that did not change is like the plasma cutter and the flamethrower. The only thing they did change on the weapons, like the pulse rifle, instead of now doing like an alternative fire, like doing a spin rotation thing, or somebody likes to call it the oh shit button, where basically it just rotates the gun around. It's like a spinning wheel of death. And then also for guns like the line gun, also has gotten a complete change. Same thing for the force gun. Same for the Whipper in a way. The Whipper does now also ricochet instead of just straight up firing from the gun itself. And also slated for the contact beam, it's got its changes around, which I think is absolutely fantastic, and so much more. And as for the wig upgrades and all that stuff, they kind of somewhat they kind of amped it up a little bit, where now it's really mandatory to make sure you get those suit upgrades, not also to increase your inventory and armor was stats, but also to unlock further upgrade paths for your suits when using power notes. Speaking of power notes, this time around, the power notes are only now purpose for upgrading your weapons and suit. They are no longer purposes for saving for doors. Instead, security clearance is the new unlock to these doors. Now you get security clearance, through the main story's progression, and then as you get further, there will be up to 1 to 3 levels. So it's always good to backtrack, because with this game alone, you can backtrack to the multiple parts of the ship. You can either take the tram station if you choose to, or you can actually take the alternative paths, which is kind of nice. Actually, the ship feels so connected in such a way. It almost feels like I'm actually in a living space. It feels like it makes so much sense that everything's all connected, which I think is absolutely a good change up instead of taking the traditional tram stations. And also the fact that this game does not have basically no load times. It's all taken one cut. The only time there will be a loading screen is where you boot up the game, which is absolutely insanely fast since it's all being installed on an SSD, which is recommended on the PC version as well. And if you die, you have to deal with the loading screen. But otherwise, it's been pretty much a smooth sailing experience. Now, I will say, again, probably I'll say this at the end of the video too, I did run into some loading issues, but they were not a big deal. So, I think overall, the gameplay itself feels fantastic. They took some of the good elements from Dead Space 2 and 3. Yes, 3. That infamous child of a game. Which is the side quests, which are the okay parts, but Dead Space Remake, they actually redefined the side quests and they actually made them feel meaningful, and plus you unlocked some good goodies on the way too. So definitely do everything you can. So once you do beat the game, though, you do unlock the same type of unlocks you get from the original. You get the level 6 suit, aka the military suit. And you also unlock the impossible difficulty, and also 50,000 credits, 10 power notes. And impossible difficulty, I have not tried this yet, but I will before I've on Twitch to actually do a impossible one at it. So check that out. Check it out in my in the link description. But I think overall the gameplay package and everything is so good. So I definitely say again, the gameplay is a solid. Overall, I think the game itself is pretty good, and the story itself still maintains intact, but I think they also overall improved everything. So yeah, I think the game is a good solid. There have been maybe a couple of issues from launch, a little bit I have noticed I ran into, like a really weird loading screen that just randomly appeared throughout the game, but this was a very rare occurrences. And also the game did one time crash on me during my initial playthrough, but overall I think the game ran pretty smooth for the most part. There was also some issues a little bit with the textures, being somewhat blurry a little bit at times. I'm not too sure if it was the game itself or the console itself, which this was all on the PlayStation 5 by the way. But yeah, the main remains seen, so we'll hopefully see if the developers do anything about these issues if they see them. So I think overall the game is a good solid, I think it's a good solid 9 out of 10. Almost perfect, I would say. Quick little side note real quick, since Dead Space Remake has been getting some actual good updates lately, which they actually fixed some of the certain issues with the game itself. Like I said at the outro, the game itself was almost perfect, but it had a few technical flaws with it, but looks like with these updates so far, they actually have fixed the game's problems, and the game's actually running pretty smooth. And also, they got rid of the blurry textures that I did notice when I was doing my first initial playthrough. And overall, it's been pretty smooth as glass. So I think overall, EA Motive has been actually putting a lot of care for the game. So definitely now you can be able to enjoy Dead Space Remake even more now because of the nice love and care that they put into the game. So yeah. Anyway, this will be officially the end of the review of Dead Space Remake. But I just have to say though, this game is very solid now than ever. Also, the update also adds some changes to the suits now. So now you can actually select the Isaac Clarke's starter suit, or you can go from you can start from the starter suit to up to the level 5 suit. So yeah, you have also cosmetic choices now you get to make too, and doesn't matter which suit you equip to, it does not affect your stat overall, because as long as you have unlocked those suits, they are permanently now can be switched for cosmetic purposes only. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if this was a good video and if you happen to like it, please give the video a like, and also maybe get maybe some feedback on it. See maybe, you know, if you guys like to see some type of videos like this every now and then, because I won't do these too often, but if you guys like to see these type of things happen with any other titles I, you know, stream or play, yeah, let me know. I would like to see what everybody thinks. On that note, everyone, this has been G-Money Rowan here, and until then, farewell, everyone.